For the first time in over 20 years, Hull City will take on Wrexham, this time in the Carabao Cup. It's a Tuesday night kickoff, and everything is set for Hull City to possibly progress out of the first round for the first time in 5 years. Hello there, and welcome back to the HullCityFanCentral YouTube channel, where today I'll be giving you my preview, prediction, and everything you need to know ahead of Hull City versus Wrexham at the racecourse ground over in Wrexham. As I said, we haven't faced Wrexham in over 20 years, and we're playing them 3 times this season. That's how football works. So let's crack straight into the preview of Hull City versus Wrexham in the Carabao Cup. Injury update. So first of all, injury update. No fresh injuries to be concerned with. We'd have a bit of an update on Louis Coyle and also Destam. So on Louis Coyle's front, he's still not match ready, not match fit, not available in contentions. It is maybe a few weeks more out for Louis Coyle before he is back available in contentions. Of course, when he's back, when he's fit, it doesn't necessarily mean he'll start the games because he didn't have a long pre-season, did he? Because he got injured straight away when they went out to Turkey in that first pre-season friendly over there, picking up a hamstring injury. So I suspect that it might be a bit of time of ramping up in training before we see Louis Cole actually contribute in a match and start a match for that. We'll come back to that in a second on the team prediction for this one based on some of the comments from Sergei Kirvich. Also on Destan, Destan's also not match fit, not match ready. We did sign him. He hasn't actually featured at all for the club pre-season wise or in competitive action. Of course, Hull City only playing 1 competitive game so far this season. It is expected him to be a couple more sessions out before he is available in contention, just due to a bit of a knee, not injury, but uncomfortableness, he has said, on his knee. So that's the reason why Destam is not available as well. So let's progress straight into my Hull City predicted starting 11 by my friends over at Fanhub. If you do not know what Fanhub is, it's a free app where you get rewarded for being a football fan for free. Go and check them out. Link in the description. Use my golden ticket code HUL-IZR and you bypass the queue and get rewarded for doing so. So a bit of an update into the squad. This has been picked, a bit of guesswork and a bit of sort of going off what Sergei Kirvich has said. So Sergei Kirvich has openly said in the media availability today, we will choose 11 guys who are able to play good football with good energy and intensity. We have many players who are very good. We will change some positions because in pre-season they deserved the chance to play. Also in a video with BBC Radio Humberside Sports, he did say that some positions, of course, don't have alternate options or alternate options that can do a capable job in a cup competition. He was naming the likes of Ryan Giles, Cody Drammer, so the likes of them we possibly will not see them changing. So that's why if we go into my preview, you will see some of the players remaining the same from the side that faced off against Coventry on Saturday. Of course, Hull City don't then play again until Sunday, so there is a bit of a longer time to refresh before the game on Sunday. So Dylan Phillips, well, he's going to get his first shout for Hull City in competitive action. Seems to be the pretty much standard now for clubs, especially in the early round cup competitions, to change out number 1 goalkeeper for the backup choice. Gives the backup choice a chance to get a run out and also gives your number 1 goalkeeper a chance to take a little break. Of course, early on in the season, but still a break is much appreciated. And we do have some news on Panda to come in a bit. So Cody Drammer, as I said, he'll be starting at full back. The centre-back partnership will, I think, change fully with John Egan and Akin Famewo getting his first start for Hull City. The centre-back partnership changing from Semi Ajay and Charlie Hughes that we saw against Coventry. You could obviously make a shout for one of them two to pair up with maybe an Egan or a Famewo. Of course, Akin Famewo was on the bench against Coventry, similarly with John Egan, so we could possibly see both these two starting the game. Of course, at left-back, it would be Ryan Giles. Of course, Brandon Williams, more news to come on him in a second, would be the cover option but hasn't signed as of yet. So ahead of that, Cathal McCarthy, I think he's going to get his senior debut for Hull City, as he has impressed massively in pre-season, didn't he? He made it onto the bench for the side that went away to Coventry. Didn't feature in that game, but I suspect with a bit of rotation, of course, Matt Crooks playing quite an intense role in that game. I think Cathal McCarthy can come in, replace him quite nicely, and he can give Matt Crooks a chance to have a midweek break before the Sunday fixture at home against Oxford. Pairing up with John Lunsham, I think Lunsham will go into this game. You can maybe make a claim for Regan Slater to have that role there instead of a Lundstrom. I think that Slater may be utilised in that more attacking position moving forwards, and so then probably wouldn't want to have him go back to a bit more of a defensive mind, a bit more of a holding midfielder role that Lundstrom played, as we saw against Coventry City. Of course, there could be a bit of a change there. Could be a midfielder that I haven't even thought about. Could have been one of the academy lads come in. Could be a Harry Vaughan, for all we know, come in to play in that Lundstrom position. Ahead of that, it'll be Joe Geltart to get his second full debut for the Tigers. Of course, back on loan. Did play on Saturday against Coventry, but I think that he'll start this one alongside two academy lads. Nathan Tinsdale, of course, got his full his senior debut, on Saturday, and I think a full senior debut for Farrell Brown, who was the big talking point of the summer. I think them two lads will grab their starting roles, along with a full debut for Ollie McBurney. Was said in the bit of press junkie today with Sergei Kirevich, said, will Ollie McBurney actually start this game? And he went, we'll decide tomorrow based on what we see. Of course, there's no Destan, so you can maybe make a claim Cal Joseph start this game. Of course, he started against Coventry, so I doubt that one would happen. You could maybe make a claim that Joe Geltart could start this game, and you could have someone else fill in that sort of number 10 role. But I think it will be Ollie McBurney to get his first full run out, and what a game it would be. Getting a full 45-60 minutes, as Sergei Kirevich said, of Ollie McBurney would be fantastic against a fellow championship side in Wrexham. Of course, it is only in the Cup. So some other news. Let's crack straight into some talking points surrounding Hull City. So we've got the photo there of Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams has taken his medical today in London. Of course, will not sign with the club before the game against Wrexham, so therefore he will not be available in contention. Similarly with Akintola, he's had his medical over the weekend, was training with the squad today before they all headed off to Wrexham. He's still waiting on the confirmation from the EFL. Sergei Kirevich was a bit unsure on it. I'm not sure whether it's to do with his work permit or whether the EFL are just trying to sign off on the deal, but Akintola signed, medicaled, all done, just waiting for the confirmation from the EFL that Akintola is a Hull City player. But of course that hasn't been done yet, so he cannot be part of the squad for the Wrexham Carabao Cup game. A bit of news about some possible outgoings. Now, we've talked about this till the cows come home, about the prospects of Ivor Panda and Charlie Hughes getting some interest out and about. Well, Middlesbrough have now shoved their hat in the ring, as they are saying that they want Ivor Panda. We did talk about in yesterday's video that Panda has been reportedly offered a new contract by Hull City. Everything is still remaining certain that Panda and also Charlie Hughes are both wanting to stay at Hull City. The club have been very firm on that factor, that they want to keep him here, and so has Sergei Kirevich. So expect this to be nothing more than speculation. No official bid or no official interest has been placed to the club around Ivor Panda. Charlie Hughes is said to have still got interest from Coventry, as they of course saw him firsthand over the weekend, and I expect another bid from Coventry to maybe come in very, very soon, and swiftly denied, and then they probably would not be in the realm to try and grab Charlie Hughes once again. Abu Kamara is still getting a bit of interest from Portsmouth. Will be interesting to see how this one shapes out. Of course, this could possibly happen in the January transfer window, when we have the likes of Miller and Bolumi back from their respective injuries. But Abu Kamara still there, still out on the market, could go to Portsmouth. And Cody Drammer has also got his admirers, and after a good performance on Saturday, defensively wise especially, I expect maybe some more interest to surmount around Cody Drammer. We've talked about Crystal Palace being one of them teams, but I suspect maybe another team could shove their hat in the ring. So some positive news there, some negative news there. Take it how you will. So, the street food battle is back. Hull City have announced that the first fan vote for the street food that you pick for Sunday's game has been laid out. It will be a chicken satay versus fish and chips. So, in the chicken satay, you do have a chicken satay skewer, chip spice chips, peanut satay sauce, spring onions, hoisin sauce, and sesame seeds. And then on the fish and chips, you have crispy breaded fish goujons, chip spice chips, salt and vinegar seasoning, lemon wedge, and tartar sauce. So let me know what your vote is on the Hull City street food votes. First one of the season. Personally, I might go with the old fish and chips. We have a lot of chicken offerings at the MKM Stadium, so I might chuck my votes on the fish and chips. So form-wise, heading into this game, of course, take it with a grain of salt. Big bulk of this is pre-season friendlies, and of course the top ones on either side are the last games, well, the first games of the championship campaign. Of course, Wrexham losing in extra time with away at Southampton. They went 1-0 up through a Josh Windass penalty goal and then suffered a 2-1 defeat. Goals coming in the 90th and 96th minutes there. Of course, Hull City 0-0 draw away at Coventry City. Pre-season wise, well, Wrexham didn't have the best of runs over in Australia, of course. They beat Melbourne Victory 3-0 and then went on to go and lose to two other A-League sides in Sydney FC and Wellington Phoenix. And then, of course, that bottom game is there from their last game of the League One season, their last season, where they went up as the runners-up of League One. Of course, I don't need to talk through Hull City's pre-season friendlies, as we all know what happened in our quite nice pre-season. So, player to watch out for. It's a bit interesting player to watch out for in the Carabao Cup, because, of course, you don't know what side either team's going to put out onto the field. Of course, you could make a claim that Kiefer Moore might not play in this game. He played on Saturday. I don't suspect that he probably would play, but, of course, it's a player to watch out for. It's a new player to Wrexham in Kiefer Moore. We know how Kiefer Moore can play. Playing around in the Championship for quite some time. Quite a somewhat of a Welsh hero as well, Kiefer Moore, playing around pretty much all of the Welsh teams. So, player to watch out for there. So, also, two players that are former Hull City players that we will face off in this game before I go into my score prediction, as you can see on the screen. Well, of course, you've got Ryan Longman, who is currently at Wrexham, and has also openly talked about happy to beat Hull City in this Carabao Cup game when the fixture was announced. So it'd be nice to put that one to bed. And then Andy Cannon. It's unlikely that we'll face off against Andy Cannon after he had a devastating ACL injury on the field last season. But, of course, he is still a former Tiger, currently at Wrexham. So my score prediction is a 2-1 win for the Tigers, with goals coming through. It'll be a first senior goal for Farrell Brown, and it will be a first Hull City goal for Ollie McBurney. That's what I predict, as I leave you with that photo of Sergei Akievich in his sunglasses. Let me know down in the comments what your prediction is ahead of this game, who you think will win, if you think Hull City will progress through the first round for the first time in 5 years, in our first matchup against Wrexham in over 20 years. So let me know what your prediction is down in the comments, who you think will score, what you think the scoreline will be. And of course, I will be live tomorrow with a watch-along here on the channel for the watch-along party, where hopefully Hull City will progress through that first round, as I said, and there will be a reaction video straight afterwards. So stay tuned on the channel by liking and subscribing, and I will see you in the next video or the next live stream. So up the Tigers, go on!